Bold and the Beautiful Spoilers, Steffi's midnight hospital dash, Finn's life on the line, and Sheila's sinister bargain, the night descends heavy over Los Angeles. But inside the sterile fluorescent-lit halls of the hospital, chaos and desperation reign. The Bold and the Beautiful pushes everything to the edge. As Steffi Forrester bolts through their doors, heart racing, tears in her eyes, clutching to hope while fearing the worst. Her husband, Dr. John Finn Finnegan, lies unconscious, broken, and possibly slipping away. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not now. Not again. But fate has a cruel way of repeating itself, and tonight, it delivers Steffi her most brutal test yet. One that could rip her soul in half, and plunge the Forrester family into a spiral they may never recover from. It began with a call. A frantic voice on the line. Finn had collapsed during his shift, rushed into emergency care with a suspected cerebral complication. When Steffi arrives, the doctors don't sugarcoat it. Finn's condition is critical. There's neurological trauma. If he survives, he may never walk again. He may never speak. He may never remember her. It's unclear whether he suffered a stroke, a reaction to stress, or something deeper. But the truth is cold and sharp. They are running out of time. As the doctors prepare for an emergency transfusion to stabilize his plummeting vitals, the real twist hits. Finn has a rare blood type, and the hospital is out of matching units. The clock is ticking. Every second counts. And that's when the devil walks through the door. Sheila Carter. Uninvited. Unwanted. Unwelcome. But standing tall, calm, and with the ultimate bargaining chip. The blood he needs is flowing through her veins. Gasps echo. Ridge is the first to explode, his voice shaking the walls. Brooke grabs his arm to restrain him, her disgust visible. They demand security. They want Sheila thrown out. But she doesn't budge. Her face is smug, calculated. She's rehearsed this moment. This is her opening, her opportunity to buy her way back into her son's life. I can save him, she says coldly, looking only at Steffi. But you have to let me in? Steffi is paralyzed, torn. The woman in front of her has caused nothing but chaos. Kidnappings, shootings, lies, blood. She destroyed Steffi's sense of safety once. And yet now, she offers a literal lifeline. Finn's only chance. Steffi wants to scream, to run, to punch something. But time is slipping through her fingers. She turns to the doctors. Will her blood work? The lead physician nods solemnly. It's a match. Sheila steps closer. No more supervised visits. No more restrictions. I want full access to my son, to my grandchild. No more security blocking me. You want my blood? Then give me back my family. Brooke nearly lunges at her. Ridge yells again. She's blackmailing you. Don't do this, Steffi. But the room fades for Steffi. All she sees is Finn, motionless, lifeless, pale, and a tiny flicker of hope that she might get him back. Even if it means bargaining with a monster. I'll do it, she whispers. Give him your blood. Sheila's expression flickers. For the first time, she shows something close to sincerity. Maybe love. Maybe delusion. Maybe just victory. She allows the doctors to prep her. As the transfusion begins, Ridge storms out, too angry to speak. Brooke follows, tears brimming. They can't watch Steffi make a deal with the devil. But she doesn't care. All she wants is for Finn to breathe, to wake up, to say her name. Hours pass. Machines beep. Monitors blink. The transfusion stabilizes Finn's blood pressure. The swelling in his brain begins to recede. A glimmer of hope creeps in. Steffi refuses to leave his side. She clutches his hand. She whispers to him, "Come back to me. I am here. I need you." And then, a miracle. Finn's eyes flutter. Just a flicker. A twitch. A half second of awareness. He hears her voice. His fingers curl faintly. A groan escapes his lips. Steffi, she gasps. "I am here. Finn. I am here. You're okay." But just as relief threatens to crash over her, the nightmare slams back. Alarms explode. Lights flash red. The EEG monitor, the one tracking Finn's brain activity, spikes violently. Sudden, erratic signals. The neurologist rushes in. Something's wrong. Very wrong. The brief moment of consciousness triggered something unstable. The doctor orders immediate sedation to prevent further trauma. Steffi is pulled back. Nurses swarm. The machines scream. She's shoved into the hallway, tears pouring down her face. The doors shut, and she's alone. Sheila watches from down the corridor, smiling, not at the chaos, but at the door behind which her son lies. Her blood inside him, her leverage cemented. When Ridge returns, he sees Sheila still there and loses it again. She's poisoning this family, Steffy. You made a deal, and now we all pay. But Steffy is numb, exhausted. She doesn't defend herself, because part of her believes he's right. But she would do it all again if it meant saving Finn. And Sheila, she's already moving. She calls the hospital's legal department. She wants her visitation rights formalized. She's ready to bring lawyers. She's not just back in Finn's life. She's here to stay. She gave her blood. She saved him. And now, she wants everything that comes with it. Steffy stares at the closed IQ doors. Her heart aches. She knows the worst is far from over. The price she paid tonight, letting Sheila in, may be a debt she can never escape. And if Finn wakes up, if he truly recovers, she'll have to explain what she did. That she let Sheila back in. That their lives, and their child's life, are now tangled with hers again. The next few episodes will be devastating. Finn's condition could go either way. Sheila will push for full access to Hayes. Ridge will declare war. Brooke will rally the Logans. And Steffy will find herself in the middle, again, of a nightmare she thought she left behind. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Finn survives, but memory loss ignites Sheila's darkest plot. Steffy fights to reclaim her husband before it's too late. The nightmare wasn't over. When the machines quieted and the beeping stabilized, it only shifted after Finn's near-fatal collapse and the desperate blood transfusion that forced Steffy to accept Sheila Carter's help. The Forrester family thought they had crossed the worst threshold. But as the bold and the beautiful dives into its next devastating chapter, the true cost of that night reveals itself not in death, but in something more insidious. John Finn Finnegan survives. His heart beats, his lungs fill, his eyes open, but the man Steffy loves is gone, at least for now. The doctors are cautiously optimistic. Finn wakes, confused and sluggish, but alive. They explain the trauma, the neurological effects, and then the shocking revelation: Finn is suffering from selective memory loss, a neurological defense mechanism triggered by the swelling in his brain. Steffy rushes to his side, praying for recognition, whispering his name, clutching his hand. But his gaze is blank, disoriented. He blinks slowly and utters his first words, "Mom." But he doesn't mean Steffy. He means Sheila. Steffi's blood turns to ice. Her grip loosens. She looks into her husband's face and sees not love or confusion, but recognition, not for her, but for the woman who shot them both. Sheila Carter. The doctors confirm it. Finn remembers fragments, flashes, but they're distorted, selective. His mind, in protecting itself, has sealed off entire portions of memory, including his marriage to Steffy, the birth of their daughter, and the life they built together. What remains is a hazy patchwork of early trauma and emotionally charged moments, and somehow, the few short interactions he had with Sheila linger more vividly than anything else. Sheila sees an opening, and she doesn't hesitate. Like a shadow slithering into the cracks of a broken mind, she inserts herself back into Finn's narrative. She whispers to him that she's always been there, that she loved him before anyone else did, that Steffy, cold, cruel Steffy, never wanted them to be a family, that Steffy tried to erase her, just like she's trying to erase Finn's real past now. Every visit, every conversation is carefully calibrated to reinforce the idea that Sheila is the victim, the loving mother who was banished by a jealous, manipulative wife. Finn is too weak to question. His mind drifts. He looks at Steffy with suspicion. He clutches Sheila's hand for comfort. He asks again why his wife is so angry, so controlling. Steffy is crushed. Ridge demands that Sheila be barred from the hospital, but Sheila counters with her blood donation. She saved his life. She has legal leverage now, especially with Finn naming her as his emergency contact. Something he must have done in his haze, guided by her manipulation. Steffy refuses to give up. She knows her husband is still in there. The man who loved her fiercely, who held their daughter in his arms with tears of joy, who risked everything to protect her from the very woman now poisoning his mind. She launches her own plan, a strategy built not on confrontation, but on love. She gathers the artifacts of their life together. First, the wedding shawl, the soft, cream-colored scarf Steffy wore when they exchanged vows on the cliff behind the Forrester estate. She drapes it across his lap in the hospital bed, reminding him of the vows, of the breeze, of the moment he said, "I do." His fingers trace the fabric. Something flickers, but it fades to fast. Next, she brings the framed photograph, their family portrait, taken shortly after Kelly's birthday, with Steffy holding Hayes and Finn smiling down at them both. She places it beside the bed. Finn looks at it, pauses, says the baby looks familiar. It's progress, But Sheila swoops in, whispering that Steffy is just trying to trick him, to rewrite his memories. Then comes the final blow, Kelly's bracelet. The tiny beaded charm bracelet Finn helped Kelly make in secret as a gift for Steffy, spelling "Mommy loves you" in pastel beads. When Steffy places it in his hand, Finn stares at it. His hand tightens. His pulse spikes. A wave crashes over him, a flash of laughter, Kelly's voice, Hayes crying, Steffy singing to calm him down. Emotion hits hard and sudden. Tears well in his eyes. I know this, he mutters. Steffy leans in. Yes, you made this. You and Kelly. Something inside Finn begins to tremble. Memories start to bleed through, brief, fragmented, but there. Steffy pushes gently, describing the night Kelly fell asleep in Finn's arms. The day Hayes took his first steps, their trip to the cabin. The way Finn cried when Steffy gave him his first Father's Day card. And then, everything shifts. A sudden jolt in his expression. He gasps, wide-eyed. Sheila Steffy freezes. Finn's voice drops. I helped her. With the records. The hospital files. I covered for her. Steffi's heart stops. What are you talking about? The truth begins to unspool, jagged and raw. Finn remembers now. Months ago, Sheila came to him, desperate. She claimed she needed access to medical records for urgent family reasons. Said she had a genetic disorder she didn't want to pass on. Finn, overwhelmed and guilt-ridden over the fragile truce between them, bypassed protocol. He pulled the records. He falsified the entry logs. And he never told anyone. But it wasn't about genetics. It was about Luna. About hiding what she'd done. Sheila had used the access to bury evidence, maybe more. Steffy is stunned. Not only has Sheila manipulated Finn again, but she's using his own guilt to twist him further, gaslighting him into believing she's the one who's always been honest. The betrayal is layered, not because Finn was cruel, but because Sheila has infected his conscience, turned his empathy into a weapon. Steffy takes this revelation straight to Ridge and Brooke. The Forresters know they have to move fast. If Sheila gains conservatorship over Finn's decisions while he's still unstable, she could entrench herself permanently. And if the truth about her manipulation of hospital systems surfaces, it could open a legal door to finally eliminate her. But Steffy doesn't just want revenge. She wants her husband back. She begins visiting daily, taking Sheila's place at Finn's side every morning, slowly replacing the false memories with real ones. She reads from Finn's old journals. She shows him videos of Hayes taking his first steps. She brings Kelly in to visit. Day by day, moment by moment, she chips away at the wall Sheila built. And it starts to work. Finn begins to flinch when Sheila speaks. He starts questioning the things she told him. He asks Steffy to tell him their story again. Not the medical facts. The love story. The real one. She tells him everything. The day they met. The time he showed up at her house with pizza after a long shift. The night he kissed her under the stars. The moment he first said, "I love you." She watches his eyes shimmer with tears. His hand reaches for hers. A smile, faint but real, pulls at his lips. "She tried to take me from you," he whispers. "She tried to kill us." And suddenly, he remembers everything. It floods in. The shooting, the lies, the rage. He remembers Sheila's madness, the horror in Steffi's eyes as she bled out. He remembers dying and coming back. For her. For them. Sheila's grip shatters in an instant. He turns to the woman who gave him life and says, flatly, "Get out." She refuses at first. Screams. Tries to plead. But this time, there's no confusion in his voice. No haze in his gaze. Sheila Carter is expelled from Finn's life with the full force of a man who finally sees clearly. And Steffy, through pain, fear, and unwavering love, wins her husband back. But the damage isn't done. Now they face the fallout. The revelation of Finn's secret, aiding Sheila's medical tampering, could cost him his license. Legal action may be coming. The hospital board begins an inquiry. Ridge wants to bury Sheila for good, and now he has ammunition. But so does Sheila. If she goes down, she'll take everything with her. Every secret, every file, every name she touched. And through it all, Steffy and Finn must rebuild. Together, trust damaged, but love still burning. The storm isn't over, but the memory of their love, the truth of it, was enough to cut through the darkest manipulation Sheila could muster. And, for now, that's enough to fight for.